Heim is much cooler in this one, for the most part, than it was in the original. The original was very cinematic, but it was not a level. It was a straight gauntlet. You didn't really move through anything, per se. While this one is a little bit less cinematic, there's more to it. You advance. You feel like you're actually in a level, advancing towards Tanzra. You even crash your palace into it, which is pretty rad. And then you get here and you see all those little naked angel fuckers that build towns, and they're all dead. So if you hated them, you're going to love this level. And then all of your butt buddies are casualties as well. And there's two things of note here that happen. One is that when you get to your second butt buddy, you'll gain, for the only time in this game, the long-range attack for the Master's Sword. You get it from this dude. You got it twice in the original, and it was pretty fucking awesome. Way better than your regular sword. However, in this one, it does as much damage as a regular sword slash, with certain exceptions. And as a result of getting it, you somehow lose your ability to use magic. It sucks, but it sucks less than you would think. In fact, I grew to appreciate the distance attack significantly for the most part. It's much more cost-effective and manageable than most of your magic. So then you'll get to this business, the gauntlet, the actual battle, and the first thing you fight is the snail. The giant cock in a shell. He's actually harder. You certainly do not want him to hit you. And that's very difficult to have happen because the rocks have really odd collision detection. Sometimes you can get hit easily, not meaning to. But for the most part, he's a pushover. It's just patience. And one trick to not getting fucked is move around a lot when the rocks are falling. You don't want to stay close to him as much as that may be tempting, because the rocks will just concentrate on you and one of them will somehow hit you from the side. And you'll take damage that you do not want to take. And then if you thought last round you should go crazy with teabagging, that you should go apeshit, this round it shouldn't even be a question how much more enthused you should be to share your scrotum with somebody else. And by somebody else I mean the creatures in this game. Like this hag bitch, who can actually still kill you after you kill her. That head can hurt you after you beat the boss. But the boss is painfully easy. Just stand where I did and throw all of your splooge at her, and she'll go down so painfully easily. This guy takes a little bit more strategy. At a half-life, he will drop down. And what you want to wait for is for him to decide to jump. And you want to be... It's hard to say when that is exactly, but when he jumps, you want to jump and do the diving thrust. You certainly know by now what kind of thrust you should be using. And he should go down very, well, not very, but fairly easily. This guy can actually be an annoyance. He's easy as hell still, but he can be an annoyance. Just get on top of him and down thrust like a motherfucker after you bring his shield down, and he should die. The question is getting him to get into the corner where you want. This fuck, however, is far, far harder than he should be. He's the single lamest boss fight I have ever seen. He spends 95% of his time off screen, from which he can blow. Not a good blow. Okay, this is after a blowjob and he spews it. Okay, he's a spitter extraordinaire. And when he spits, he doesn't have to be on the screen or even facing you. When he spits, you will go flying. And the vast majority of the time, you don't know when he's going to spit. So it's a pain in the fucking ass to kill him, and the only consolation is that this level gives you an extra guy. killing the dragon is pretty much the hardest thing in this entire level. There is nothing harder in Heim, and I include Tanzra in that, than that dragon. He's so hard to hit, too. Ugh. Look at that shit. And before, he might do it once or twice in a battle at most. At most. I think the time I fought him and actually recorded it, he didn't even do it once. This time, he must have saved up a couple centuries worth of kingly jizz. And he is so ready to spit it at you. He just can't hold it anymore. It's like a little kid. It's like a little kid that has to take a piss. They can't hold it. It just comes out. Okay? That's the same thing for this fuckhole. Once he's out of the way, things are much easier. This guy is a joke. Just, as usual, avoid his massive, explosive orgasm, and then just wait for him to appear up there, and then kill him, and that's it. This man has weak seed. Should not die against him. And then you show him what a cock is, the way that I just did. This guy, he's about the same as he was before. Arguably easier. Actually significantly easier. Just stand at an angle and go apeshit on him, and he'll die. And then you know the routine after that. And then you talk to this guy, you get a code that is virtually meaningless. It just starts you off in Heim after you've crashed your wonderful sky harem into it. It doesn't actually start you at Tanzra, of course. No, you have to go through that fucking dragon again.